Alright, what's up guys? It's Nasu here and I'm back with another DFFOO JP video. And in this one we're tackling that 6-man Area 3. Um this is the first 6-man run that I've done when it first came out. Like I wasn't playing JP when the other two came out, but I gotta say this run was a lot of fun. The boss actually had a lot of different mechanics that you had to watch out for. It's a few of them with so many different thresholds. I'm gonna leave all of that information in the comment, well in the description section. Not sure. I would like to shout out whoever did this because yeah, it helped out tremendously. I'm pretty sure it helped out a lot of people, so if anyone knows who I can get a shout out to, that put together the boss details for this fight, because we can't read, well I can't read anime text, so I don't know what's going on. But anyway, let's talk about this fight. Like I said, the boss has different mechanics. As you saw in the beginning, their force gauge is up. Soon as the fight starts, no way to stop it, is up. So you want to bring somebody who could kind of mitigate the damage, so your team don't die. And in this, I brought the best tank in the game, Hope. Yes, you heard me, the best tank in the game, Hope. But anyway, yeah. So we survived that 5 turns, whatever. In the fight, the team setup I used to start off with Hope. Hope for the mitigations and everything. Fast force gauge charge. Lunar Freya. We got Lunar Freya with the ice enchant, because I believe they resist every other elemental brave damage besides ice. So we got her for the ice enchant. And Renoir, for that sweet damage. My sub team, Selfie was basically just here, to put on that debuff so we can pretty much launch them every time. And I used the Kata. I'm gonna say this again. It has to be one of the best calls in the game. The Kata call. I could have used Kata because, as you'll see later, yeah, I could have used Kata because I brought in Minwu, and I thought about deleting turns because there's a phase when I believe which one is that called? The one that's jumping, doing all the jumping. I believe it's the Rampage machine. He goes into a mode. I can't think of the thresholds. It'll be in the description section, so you'll know. But basically, if he gets a turn, I think he glows red, or his emblem glows red. And basically, if he gets a turn, it's instant white. Party dead. Match over. That's it. But yeah, so that's why I originally bought Minwu. But I kind of didn't need to delete the turns, and you'll see when it comes up. But what I'm doing right now is trying to get everything set up for the force time. I went with Lunar Freya's force. I probably could have went with Hope's because I think I could have got more damage just using Hope's. But I went with Lunar Freya's for the first run. Getting everything set up. Want to make sure I have all my bursts. Make sure I have that Alizé call. I don't even know if it's necessary, but I like the fact that you gain brave between HP dumps. So pretty sure that really helped out a lot in the force stage. In the burst phase with the force up. Yeah, but I kind of like. I gotta say this again. I had fun with this fight. It's things you gotta watch out for. The bosses have brave gain reduction, brave damage mitigation. They jump in the turn count, so you have to interact with them. It is a lot of fun. Yeah, I gotta say I had a lot of fun with this one. Yeah, as you can see, I brought Core in because you can't have a burst phase without Core, right? Coming through with that extra damage. Could have used Cisne. However you pronounce the name, whatever, you know me. But I decided to go with Core just because I wanted to go with Core, to be honest. I might come back and do a run and switch up the teams a little bit, use Cisne, but this was my first run through with the fight, so I honestly wasn't sure I could beat this fight because I read the description, son, and it made it seem like you needed Celes. Well, not needed, but almost needed. And the only reason I say that is because the boss starts off with a permanent effect, and the only way to get rid of it is the inflicted debuff with an ice damaging force ability. And I'm pretty sure only Celeste could do that. I mean, maybe Luna Freya Force is technically ice, but she doesn't inflict a debuff. So they're adding that inflicted debuff now to get those characters. But I actually pulled for Celeste, and I got her Force and her LD. Didn't get the EX, but I can token the EX, so I'm not worried about that. But yeah, I decided to get this run and go, and as you can see, I got my setup nice, got everything nice and ready for my Renoa phase. Now, I don't have the characters, but I saw a run well, I didn't see the run. I read the description. They did a 250 million damage burst phase with Renoa. Now, mine isn't that high. I'm letting you know that now, but yeah, it's different characters. I think I saw a Setzer in there somewhere. Stuff that I don't have. But anyways, these bosses actually have a lot of HP. Well, to me, they have a lot of HP because I'm used to dealing with the 1/6 bosses having 80 mil apiece, 90 mil apiece. The single target having 170 million, 180 million. These bosses actually have 130 million HP apiece. So that kind of had me hesitant. But when I'm like, Renoa can do some damage, and we get the launch. Oh, so I should be okay. But as you can see, yeah, Renoa is just cutting through that damage, and I think right there, that's what it is. See how he has the all in his blanking red. Yeah, if you give him a turn while there's blanking red like that, that rampage machine is just gonna kill you. Now, the bosses actually gain their force ability at certain intervals, and I don't believe the only way you can stop it is if you're doing force, they're not gonna gain it if you're in the middle of a force. If you attack them with, the debuff inflicting ice elemental force, then that stops it. But as you can see, they get turns. Like, you just can't stop it unless you kill them. They get turns, and that's where that Kata call. Oh man, that Kata call. I love that Kata call. I'm so glad I got that Kata call. That Kata LD call comes into play because they're not doing anything. They're getting all his attacks off, and it's not doing nothing. As you can see, the force gauge is back up. So with this fight, unless you have a way where you could just take them from point A to dead like that, you're gonna have to deal with the force abilities, and that's kind of what I liked about this fight. It made you somewhat engage the bosses. Now, of course, they didn't do well. They did not do well because the team, like I said, this was my first run through. I'll probably go back and try to see what I could have did better. Well, I know some things I could have did better. I felt like I should have. You know what? I needed the Luna Freya ice enchant, so maybe during the burst phase it was best to use her force, because if I would have had hope in, then I wouldn't have got the extra damage with core. But maybe it wouldn't have mattered, but we'll see. I'll go through it and see. Now, there is an instance that it happened throughout the fight. Like you said, I'm about to switch some characters out. You can see I brought in Minwoo. Like I said, I thought I get his burst up. I thought maybe, you got to delete. Now, here's the thing. Like I said, about that threshold, you'll see what it is. There is like, you don't want them to get turns, but it really didn't matter because the fight was basically over once I got to this point. Well, I would say this. Below 20%, my heart nearly stopped. Something happened, and I was not expecting it. Like I said, I read the boss details, but there was so many thresholds, and it was saying this one does this at this, and this one does that at that. I almost got to the point where I was saying, know what? I'm gonna just do the fight and just see how it is. And I'm gonna try to do it without Celeste, because as much as I'm so tempted to get Celes is like, I don't think I really need her. So I'm just gonna hold off a little bit to see if I could complete some fights without her, because I have a lot of different forces and characters that I haven't maxed, and I'm like, if I don't need it, it's like, do I really want to use my resources on it? Because I actually have Renault's force ability, and I haven't done anything with it yet. I probably have 2 copies of it, but I'm like, if I don't need to do it, then why do it? But yeah, this is I like how I kind of switched this up. See, this is my thinking. Using Hope's force, and I'm like, the boss is about to get turned, so I'm like, I should delete them, but I still have my summon. So I'm like, oh, this might work out. This might work out. But yeah, I think the Square Enix, they now, of course, using 6 characters helps alleviate the difficulty somewhat, but they should have more fights where you have to interact with these bosses like this. Maybe not where you say, oh, you have to inflict this to cancel it, because I feel like there's somewhat limiting the characters, but that's just my personal opinion. And you can see I swapped back in Renault because I'm like, we're in force time. It's time to get that beautiful damage in. Wish I could have got Hope in those first couple of launches. Now right here, I was oh man, I'm telling you, when this happened in this fight, my heart stopped. Luckily, I had the best tank in the game in at the time, and that is Hope. And that's why you saw me summon, because I'm like, know what? If this would have been a dead run, I probably would have cried. Not really, but really. I mean, at least I would have known, 20% they're gonna do some more things. Make sure you have a tank and someone who can mitigate that damage a little bit. But yeah, other than that, yeah, this was a great fight. Hopefully everybody had as much fun as I had with it, and hopefully when it comes to global, you guys can have a lot of fun with it. But yeah, that's all I got for this video. This is the last attack. You can see, like I said, the match was over once I got to that point. But this is Nasu here, another DFFOO JP video. Like, share, subscribe, all that other stuff that people like to add in that I don't really care about. But I'll see you next time.